again on the way the two teams line up tonight. There's no changes despite the warm-ups, no dramas there. Blaymeier's the fullback for the Wildcats. Then it's Gleeson, Murphy, Millard, Morton, Cook and Jeffries. Big night for Paul Cook. Liano, Rinaldi, Moore, Dimitriou the skipper, Johnson who passed a late fitness test, and Morrison. And the bench, Korkidas, Henderson. Another big night for an ex-Hull legend, Paul King, and Tavita Liolato. The coach, an ex-Hull coach, John Keir. Tansey at fullback for the Black and Whites. Then it's Whiting, Turner, Yeaman and Briscoe, Washbrook and Berrigan. Dowes, Houghton, Cusack, Manu, Tickle and Fitzgibbon, who captains the side at loose forward. And the interchange bench occupied by Richard Horne, who returns to the 17 alongside Radford, Luaki and Craig Hall. Coach is Richard Agar. So there is Craig Fitzgibbon leading out the Black and Whites, coached by Richard Agar. Once upon a time he was John Keir's understudy at the KC Stadium. Richard Agar, one of the coolest coaches in Super League. He has to be. His half-back partnership of Horne and Long have played together just 4 times this year. They won 3 of the 4 that they did play together, but with men like Craig Fitzgibbon in the team, it's no wonder that they have risen up the table in 2010. Now, home form for Wakefield is a real worry. They won 4 of the first 5, but they've won just 1 of the last 5 here since Easter. I do think this is their point of no return for their hopes in the playoffs. They're 10th, 7 to go, 2 points behind Castleford. They haven't managed back-to-back wins since March. They really are battling to make the top 8. But hope springs eternal. They beat Hull here 37-22 last year. But overall, they do have a poor record against Hull in Super League. And Jason Dimitriou, their captain, hopes to put that to some ways right here tonight. Now, just before we get this game underway, a quick cheerio to Ray Wood right now. He has been a Wakefield fan for over 50 years. He really works hard for the club on match days, sorting everything out down here. He's well known to us on Sky. He is recovering after a major operation. Get well soon, Ray, and let's see you back down here at Bellevue very, very soon. Someone else who's recovered full fitness, Steve Ganson. We haven't seen him too much just lately. He's the man in the middle, blows the whistle. Paul Cook gets us underway. Towering kick-off. Tansey's underneath it. And Steve-O, this really is a night that Wakefield have to stand up.
I think you're right, Eddie, and John Keir is fully aware of that. It has to be a win at all costs. Very disappointed with the performance last week. Realises that the heat may be some sort of a problem out there. And when you look at this Hull outfit, they're playing in all black. That really doesn't help them.
There's the skipper, Craig Fitzgibbon, on the 3rd tackle. No way forward, though. The big man, Liano, in very, very quickly with Glenn Morrison. That was Ewan Dowes, and this is Danny Tickle. Good tackling by Wakefield.
It has
Good start to them in defence.
It had to be a well because they were woeful last week. I'm really looking forward to the fullback Jordan Tansey for Hull. Keep your eye on that fella, number 1. He really has been in superb form.
This is Sean Gleeson now for Wakefield.
And that's an interesting catch from Sean Gleeson, starting this match on the right wing. When I've looked back through the records this season, Eddie, he hasn't started a game on the wing. And we often think that playing centre or winger is the same role. I don't think it's quite as easy, and he is interchanging a little bit with Aaron Murphy. It's difficult to drop into that position against the challenge like with Tom Briscoe facing you.
There's Julian Rinaldi. Here now is Paul Johnson on the diagonal run for the Wildcats. Halted by Danny Houghton, Craig Fitzgibbon, Rinaldi again, Ben Jeffries to Glenn Morrison. Morrison hounded to the ground, but it's Jason Dimitriou here, and good work from Peter Cusack and Willie Manu. Last tackle here for Wakefield. Their opening set of 6 in the match. A high kick from Ben Jeffries. This is a tester for Richard Whiting. Whiting comes up with the goods though, and they were peppering Richard Whiting with kicks out here on the right-hand side in the pre-match build-up. The practice has paid off.
Great take by the winger there. It had to be as well, and good protection shown by the centre, Jordan Turner. Just put himself at the side there. Today, Gar fully aware that they've been a little bit up and down, but they've still got the opportunity and outside chance of staying in that top 4. So important for them.
You saw Richard Agar there, and seated alongside him in the stands is James Webster, the former Hull Kingston Rovers scrum half, left witness earlier this year to come and take up the coaching reins alongside Richard Agar with the black and whites at the KC Stadium. Good hands, this is Tickle. He gets it wide to Jordan Turner. Richard Whiting is outside him. Whiting is fed, and he gets the ball back inside, and Tickle has put the ball down.
What a tremendous burst downfield by the black and whites, and they really should have scored. Turner did everything right, made sure that Whiting got it, but it wasn't the best pass, just looping above the head of Danny Tickle, and an opportunity gone. But the ease that they just drifted past this Wakefield defence out on that left-hand side looks to be a problem for Jordan Turner.
Eddie, you know that I'm a member of the Richard Whiting fan club, but I'm disappointed with his attempt to pass that ball. He made the one-handed pass, really, when there was no need. He had two hands available to throw it, and I just think that the accuracy could have been better if he'd used both arms.
Well, you can't spurn chances like that. Hull sprung from defence into attack very quickly. But Wakefield, well, they came back and they just did enough, and certainly the pass was poor, and Tickle, he couldn't take it in. There is Richard Whiting, 21 on his back. This is Jason Demetriou now. He was Brian Carney's guest on Super League Supermen on Thursday night. Talked very interestingly about his career. Glenn Morrison. Great ball from Morrison, gets the ball out wide. This is Aaron Murphy, and it's now Hull's turn to bring him down in defence. Last tackle here for Wakefield. Signalled by referee Ganson. Up goes the kick again from Jeffries. This time not quite as deep, and it's well picked up there by Danny Washbrook.
Good work by the standoff Washbrook. Fully anticipated the kick right into the centre. Came back on the from an offside position, reading it exceptionally well.
Well, if it was a game of bingo, Wakefield would certainly win the full house card here. Look at the numbers on the backs. That's just an indication, really, of how many problems they've had in terms of injuries. 35 on the back of Liano, 36 on the back of Rinaldi. They really have had to delve into the transfer market and have a look around to shore up things here at Bellevue this year. John Keir's done a good job in that regard. There's Jordan Tansey. High kick, spinning and into the arms in the end of Matt Blaymire, who bounces off the first tackle, evades Tickle. Can't get away from Jordan Turner, though. And this now is Dale Morton. Wing for the last two. Dale Morton on halfway. He'll play it there to Rinaldi. Now Richard Moore will take it forward. Another big number on the back of Richard Moore, 25, but he's had that all year. Rinaldi is there, player coach of Villeneuve in France, and he's here to the end of the season now. That was announced yesterday. They have extended the loan deal for Rinaldi. Plenty of Super League experience, as has this fellow Jeffries. Gets it to Liano. He's got Demetriou. Demetriou is hauled down. That's a try-saving tackle. Rinaldi, if they play it out wide here, they've got chances. Brilliant pass from Cook. Oh, and Whiting does brilliantly well.
Unbelievable. He cannot believe it, John Keir. He knows that they had the overlap, and Whiting went for the huge gamble, and boy, it paid off.
What about the pass from Paul Cook, though? Through his legs, it was difficult enough. They're in decent position on, and situations like that, you can take the risk in the gamble. What about Whiting's effort, though? He tips it and then regathers it before it hits the floor.
I think Richard Whiting has just redeemed himself in the Phil Clark book of skills.
Yeah, I think we're happy with that, though. He's missed one and saved one, so he's back level on the scoreboard.
That was tremendous skill. He got in the way and he saved a certain try. Here's Sean Berrigan, wearing number 9, normally a hooker. That's where he made his name, but now operating at scrum half with Sean Long out of the side with that badly dislocated elbow. But Richard Agar tells me they are hopeful that Long will be back, if not for the playoffs, providing they get there, maybe for the last couple of weeks of the regular season.
I don't think Hull can sit and wait, though, can they, and hope for him to be back. They need to play as well. In fact, the kick chase as well. Hull Kingston set the example, I think, of a side who want to get to the playoffs and win. Penalty for interference here against Hull.
First penalty of the match goes against Ewan Dowes. It was all over Glenn Morrison, wouldn't let him get up and play the ball. As you can see, Morrison was wanting to.
Yeah, he went out the wrong exit, didn't he? He really should have come on this near side. And this could be a vital penalty for Wakefield. It will be buoyed by the fact that they got Hull stretched out on that left-hand side in their defence. Only took an intercept from Whiting that prevented the score.
Here is Ben Jeffries. That was Kirk Yeeman doing a bit of the tackling over the top there. Here now is Liano. He's a huge figure of a man. Is Charlie Liano. Rinaldi, the French international. And Liano, the man from the Newtown Jets Club in the New South Wales Cup competition, finds Cook. And he finds Blaymire, who spun away from the first tackle of Jordan Turner. Last tackle here for Wakefield. Cook, the dummy half, getting booed by the Hull supporters. Jeffries with a kick out wide. Well claimed by Briscoe.
Beautiful take, a la Australian rules. Good kick as well, put it under a lot of pressure. Look at this take.
Offside.
Absolutely superb there. Tom Briscoe.
Referee's whistle in the background, offside, because Wakefield had moved up too quickly at the play of the ball.
Well, you could see that Rinaldi and the big fella, Liano, did not even attempt to get back to 10. Just a lack of concentration at times on both sides. You just get this feeling that they're just trying each other out. A couple of breaks from either side.
Cusack will drive it in here for Hull. That's the first tackle this set of 6. Danny Houghton is the dummy half, and he gets the ball in field to Berrigan. Here is Dowes. Liano is there again. About 6'7" in his stocking feet. Charlie Liano. Jason Demetriou slightly smaller. Danny Houghton. Short ball. No way through for Peter Cusack again. He'll get to his feet. Play the ball to Houghton. Here is Berrigan. Berrigan's gone through a hole. It was an important tackle, though, from Murphy. They go wide to Houghton again. Houghton trying to spin his way to the line. That's the last one. They're about 3.5, 4 metres shy. And it's with Berrigan. He'll hoist the kick into centre field, looking for Tickle. Comes back off Tickle, picked up by Tansey. Here is Jordan Turner. That will be the first try, I think, providing the video referee, Ben Thaler, sees nothing wrong with it. He just wants to check, as you hear, whether there has been a knock-on. But I think the Hull man was facing his own line when it came back off his body.
I'm with you, Ed. It was a beautiful kick, though, wasn't it, by Sean Berrigan, who was adapted from the hook and roll into the half-back position. Now, Richard Agar will be quite happy with the fact that he's got the return of Richard Horne. It'll be interesting to see when he comes on. But that has been hit by Tickle. It has gone backwards. And as far as I'm concerned, Turner has got the first try of the game. You'll see quite clear. He hits the chest, goes backwards. That should be play on. Ben Thaler is our video referee tonight. And this, my friends, should be TRY.
Well, he's checked the grounding from Jordan Turner. And Jordan Turner has played in each of the last 12, got a try in 4 in a row in June. Missed out on the scoring last week, has got the first try on the board for Hull here tonight. Jordan Turner, the former Salford man, 6th try of the campaign in Super League. And the Old Faithful supporters behind the sticks, the other end, something to cheer about at last. Jordan Turner with the opening try here at Bellevue.
And not a bad effort as well, got them into a good position. And look how much room he gives himself as well, Sean Berrigan. Did well there, Tickle. If you face your own sticks, there's always a possibility that if it does ricochet off your body, it is going to go backwards. And that's the way it was seen by Ben Thaler, the video referee. You take your opportunities in this game, and number 19, Jordan Turner, has certainly done that. In fine form.
Yes, he is. And Danny Tickle, another of the great goal kickers of Super League. He just needs 1 point, so this will take him past this landmark. 750 points for Hull if he scores it. And he has, so he's passed 750 points in his Hull FC career, Danny Tickle. And this is his 299th appearance.
It's all about putting the pressure, and you can see there was no one anywhere near Berrigan. John Keir, the Wakefield coach, has got to make sure that they do apply that pressure, and they have conceded a try.
Yeah. We're going to get the chance here now. I think in this game goes on, is to see Danny Tickle kicking even more. I don't think that'll be the only try they score. it's worth knowing he's the 3rd best kicker in Super League. Of the regular kickers, Eddie, only Shivkovsky for Crusaders and Dobson of Hull Kingston Rovers have a better conversion rate. He's at 82% this season, which is pretty good at any standard, but worldwide, that's a very high rate. And if he continues to kick at that level, and his team continue to get over the line, Eddie, that's the reason why the Black and Whites just maybe going back to Old Trafford this year. Danny
Houghton is the dummy half. Dimitriou gets to him. Cook is there, and so too Richard Moore. But that's good running again from Houghton. You know, he gets them to halfway on the last tackle. Jordan Tanzi this time at dummy half. There's Berrigan again with time once more to place the kick, but it bounces into the arms of Matt Blaymire.
Pretty good chase, though. Solid wall. They all wait up in one unit, and that would be pleasing Richard Agar, the coach. Going back to the hooker, Danny Houghton, I must say, he really just does work his socks off. Brings another dimension to this Hull outfit.
Rinaldi finds big Charlie Liano. Just over the halfway line on tackle number 4. Rinaldi, here's Dimitriou. Dimitriou attacking the Black and Whites line, but he's grounded on tackle number 5 by 3 of them. Rinaldi waits, goes in centre field and finds Jeffries. He'll hoist a high kick. Briscoe's underneath this though. Briscoe does well, and Briscoe will return the ball with interest. Hounded down by Rinaldi and Jeffries.
Good job that Rinaldi went low as well, because it looked up for all the world that Tom Briscoe was getting into top gear. Oh, great offload.
Wonderful from Willie Manu. But Jordan Tanzi couldn't keep his feet, and the considerable frame of Richard Moore drops on him to complete the tackle. And the referee, Steve Ganson,
he never
is
made
asking
an
them
attempt
to play the ball correctly. Now, Brian Carney let us into the secret about this last Friday. The referees are going to watch this. You cannot, well, he lifted the foot and made an effort.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't a good enough effort, Eddie, and I think that's all. We haven't changed the rules. I think that at times referees have to look for so many different things in the game. They've just been reminded at this point of the season, we need to see a foot on the ball or a very good attempt at doing that. That's just lazy.
Well, it's a lazy
habit
one.
that crept into the game 10 years ago. We need to eradicate it.
And apart from that, he placed the ball down before he regained his feet, as far as I'm concerned. Referee's got it spot on.
It's Richard Moore. Well, I hope he's consistent then, and then sadly we'll probably be talking about the high number of penalties we get in this match. I didn't see any difference with that myself, but anyway, Jeffries to Paul Cook. Dimitriou fed by Cook, and it's all hands to the pumps in defence for Hull, and it's Cusack who was the man who helped to get him down. There's Matt Blaymire, fires the pass to Jeffries. Jeffries teasing with them. Oh, Craig Fitzgibbon came out and dropped him to the ground on tackle number 4. Here is Julian Rinaldi. Gets the ball out of the back door to Jeffries. Paul Cook. Paul Cook goes around Washbrook and will score for Wakefield. Paul Cook against his former club. A sweet moment for the former England international. A sweet moment for John Keir. And Paul Cook with the try. And how expensive is that penalty that's been given away by Hull for not playing the ball correctly. John Keir won't be complaining though, neither will Paul Cook be. And Paul Cook comes up with his 3rd try of the season, but more importantly the 50th try of his career. 38 of them for Hull.
Well, one person who will be complaining is Richard Agar, because Jordan Tanzi has lost the plot in that. And how on earth did Rinaldi get the ball away? It looked as though the ball carrying arm had hit the deck, but he just flicked it away, and he's so dangerous, this Paul Cook. Anywhere near the try line, give him the opportunity. Oh, he's locked it. Now then, Steve Ganson in a great position, but as far as I'm concerned, that is a knock-on. And the Hull fans who've come over from the East Coast, they've seen it on the big screen, but that man with the whistle, Steve Ganson, says I was in a good position. It looked okay for me. But when you see it on the replay, I'm afraid Mr. Ganson has made a real boo-boo.
Well, he backed himself with the decision, didn't he? And Cook will add the extras. We're level pegging here at Bellevue. Paul Cook's 6 points for Hull, Wakefield, Wakefield rather, 6 apiece. He backed himself, Steve Ganson. That's all you can ask. But he is in a great position. He didn't see that though, did he?
No, and that was quite clear. I could understand it if it had been on the other side, but he was in the great position of being where the ball carrying arm, and he looks a little confused, does Richard Agar. I'm not surprised.
Just a point about that penalty for the incorrect play the ball. I did talk to Stuart Cummings this week about this new rule, and he says apparently there were 2,400 play the balls last week. They've looked at each and every one of them, and there were only about 24 that were worthy of penalties. And here's another one. Well, we're going to have this all night. We're going to have this all night now. We've been calling for it, Phil. We've been saying if it's in the rules, touch it with your foot.
It'll take years, I think, now to change players' habits, because he's been doing that for 5 and 10 years, and so have many players.
But that's 6 and 2 threes. They're both not bad.
I'm with you, Eddie. Why do they have to say change the law? The law says you've got to touch it with your foot. All they've got to do is just go back to what is written in the book.
They've not changed the law, they've just not been enforcing it for 10 years.
Play on, says the referee. Oh, well, he said play on, and now he's given first knock on. It's Wakefield's head and feet. We've missed Steve Ganson, haven't we?
I'm not so sure.
There's the first knock on.
He's got it right. He's got it absolutely right. Kirk Yeaman has lost control.
Yeah, but then Johnson gets over the gets over the advantage line. Anyway, look, let's just draw a veil over Steve Ganson for the time being, and let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats were involved in a pantomime for Jason Demetrio's testimonial last week, and earlier this week in actual fact. And there are 1 or 2 pantomime villains out there already this evening, Paul Cook being one of them, of course, ex-Hull FC, and that man in possession now, Paul King, another ex-Hull FC player, 150 games for the Black and Whites. I reckon Steve Ganson's on his way to being a pantomime villain tonight as well.
Well, so long as we don't have a pantomime dame before the night's out, we'll be okay. Here is Glenn Morrison. I'm not going to harp on about this, but
well, you're going to mention it.
Why do we change direction with Richard Moore there with blood pumping from his head? Why do we change direction and give directives 20 rounds into a season?
I've no idea. I blame some of the coaches, because I reckon the coaches want so much from the referee's boss, whereas the boss should be telling the coaches what they want. Never mind the other way around.
Oh, brilliantly picked up that by Jordan Tanzi. Off comes Richard Moore.
They'll miss him as well. He gets through a lot of work. That's a great tackle.
It is. But then he had another pull at Willie Manu and concedes a penalty.
The reason that Hull FC are forcing these penalties from Wakefield is they're playing with such speed, and they've got good skills. Look at Manu here. He's ball down and ready to play that ball, and Ben Jeffries can't allow him. Otherwise, the initiative is going to go. And there we see Richard Moore with a big split on his head. There's where the clash of heads with Lee Radford. If there's anybody you don't want to clash head with, it's Radders. But I'm not too sure where I stand on this play the ball thing. I've not come to listen to referees blowing their whistles all the time. I'm with Phil. It'll be a change in culture, and we won't be talking about it in a couple of weeks.
Well, poor play, and
Richard Agar folds his arms across his chest. That wasn't the best.
And quite frankly, this game is really not of the high expectations.
That left to right passing again, Eddie, I know it's a pet thing of mine. Most people right-handed, when they pass the ball, you look at passes that go to ground or miss the man. More often than not, they're from the left to the right.
I'm not sure whether it were a bad pass more than Jordan Tanzi didn't want to catch it because Dale Morton was pressurising him.
Here's Morrison for Wakefield. 6 apiece, midway through this first half.
Well, that stroke of luck certainly has lifted the spirits of the Wildcats. They needed it as well. It was quite obvious on the replay that Paul Cook had lost possession, but Mr. Ganson has already given the try, and they must make good use of this. The thing that's worrying me about Wakefield is that they're virtually going just one out. A lot of effort, but there's no utilisation of a dummy runner, nobody coming on that second phase.
That's a good run from Paul Johnson, but again, as you say, it is all just one man driving the ball in, and now we'll wait and see what happens from the kick here from Jeffries again. He'll give it some air. Lehmeyer might have been a touch in front, but Whiting claims it, and then Demetriou claims him.
Well, there again, you know, the tactics are not what you could call brainy. I mean, Richard Whiting is such a tall fella, and he's so confident underneath the bomb. It isn't as though he's got a past record of being a bit dodgy.
Wakefield with a pretty poor record here against Hull. They've only won 5 out of 30 in Super League against the Black and Whites, just 2 of 15 here. But last year, John Keir's men won, and they repeated that in 2003. Richard Moore's on his way to the changing room, apparently for stitches to that head wound, as Tansey drills the ball upfield, but safely pouched by Blaymeyer. Gets as far as Washbrook.
Well, the one thing Richard Agar, the Hull coach, will be pleased with is the fact that the kick and chase is pretty solid. Okay, it was right down the throat of the fullback, Matt Blaymeyer, but they had plenty of numbers there. Looks concerned, doesn't he? Not confident.
He knows he's in the scrap with Wakefield, because they are fighting for their playoff lives here tonight.
Well, he knows that every time he comes up against their old coach, John Keir, he'll certainly have had them fired up before this game, but...
You'll have this fella fired up, Paul King and Paul Cook, who's been credited with the try and the goal, of course. Rinaldi, good ball to Kokidas, better ball, I thought, to Jeffries, but he held on to it.
The idea was there.
Up it goes again. It's obvious what John Keir's tactics are. Whoops.
Oh, he took a
High
gamble.
kick, test Tansey, high kick, test Whiting, and Tansey failed with that particular test.
Well, I've got it right. On this occasion, Keir says, never mind going to the man that's pretty safe under it. Go to Jordan Tansey, who, I must say, percentage-wise, he can make it very difficult for himself. Real pressure.
Wakefield are just playing a high completage and high percentage game. Very, very low-risk players. Getting to the kick. The reason Jordan Tansey drops that pass, he doesn't know where that back line is. He tries to catch it and stop on the spot, and there's Lee Radford. Bit of a legacy. The clash of heads with Richard Moore 5 minutes ago.
Yes, Moore's got stitches and Radford's got a bandage. It shows you who's got the hardest head. You're right, Barry. Spot on. You've not clashed heads with him in the past, have you, by any chance, Lee Radford?
Not in the last
10 minutes?
Fortnight, no.
Right, goal line dropout. Kokidas hits it at pace.
Tell you who's brave there. The first man to get up and tackle him, Danny Houghton, probably the smallest forward, certainly. But when Michael Kokidas charges that ball, you know you've got to be brave if you want to take him head on. And Danny Houghton showed his bravery. They've come up with possession. Great effort from a little man.
Certainly was, and Luwaki just finished off. He was the reason why he fumbled the ball.
Manu gets it away to Berrigan, in turns gets it away to Jordan Tansey. Here is Luwaki again. Some big men in this Hull side. Washbrook to Tickle. Danny Houghton waits the dummy half. Here is Radford. Fitzgibbon. Well watched by the Wakefield defence up the middle.
He's been very quiet though, hasn't he, the loose forward, Craig Fitzgibbon. Hardly seen him take the ball up. I just get the impression there may be a problem with him.
It's a high kick. That ball is allowed to bounce. The Wakefield defenders actually were more concerned then with stopping Hull making a jump than making an attempt to get to that ball. I just wonder if there's a case there, you know, for obstruction.
Well, it was certainly a push by Richard Whiting, wasn't it? Either way, Wakefield has got the relieving penalty, messing around at the play the ball area. Well, I'm not so sure. Did he lose possession there, Millard? Looked that way. Either way, they won't be complaining. Now then, can they get a little bit more structure? You know the qualities of Ben Jeffries and Paul Cook, and this is where Cook's got to start taking control here.
Rinaldi, infield to Paul King. He finds Jeffries. Jeffries gives it back. King is hauled down. Rinaldi waits, 20 metres away. Wakefield finds Glenn Morrison. Morrison thought about the pass. Houghton again doing a good job in the tackling department. Helped out by Fitzgibbon.
This is where they're going to start utilising the fullback, Matt Blaymeyer.
There's Kokidas. He's standing. He was looking for support. It wasn't there.
Blaymeyer, second phase. Will he use it?
Cook stabs the kick in behind the defence, and Whiting tidies up, but then is just wrestled over the dead ball line by Dimitriou. Second goal line dropout coming up here for Hull.
And that's where he's got to stamp his authority as Paul Cook. It was a beautiful little chip into the in-goal area. He knows it. But Richard Whiting aware of it.
Another hot and sultry night here in West Yorkshire. Cloud cover. It's a little thundery. But here comes King. And don't forget, we will be at the KC Stadium on Thursday, 7:30. Sky Sports HD2 for the Big City Derby. And you'll be able to watch that as you are watching this in high definition here on Sky Sports. Stunning pictures, stunning sound. Morrison loses the ball.
Just on the impact. And again, Wakefield, John Keir's got to get the message out and say, look, let's try to be a little bit more adventurous here, fellas. Was there a hand in there? Looked it.
That's hugely disappointment from Wakefield's point of view. They've had 2 goal line dropouts in the last 4 minutes, Eddie. They've lost it on play 1 and on play 3. They've no hope really of building any pressure or showing us what their exciting backs can do. And the forwards in the early half of that set are just coming up with simple losses in possession.
Mentioned our pictures in HD. Don't forget, next Friday you can see Rugby League in the Super League in 3D. Sky.com/3D pubs for all the addresses where you can watch that. And what a game we've got for you in 3D. Wigan, the leaders, against second-placed Warrington. Next Friday, it's in 3D. We're making history in this country. The first Super League match in that particular format. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the game. Can't wait for the occasion. And Radford goes without it. Well, it's a case of dropsy at the moment for both clubs and just a touch scrappy.
They both look frightened.
Cook to Millard. Turner does well, but whoa, he smuggles the ball away to Morton. Morton is taken down by Fitzgibbon first and then Houghton. This is Rinaldi attacking the line, and it's Blaymeyer. And this time, the Black and Whites muscle up in defence and bring him down, but he's just half a metre short of their try line. Rinaldi will go on his own, but he's held up. That's good defence low down by Jordan Turner. Millard fires the pass to Paul Cook. Cook then short to Jeffries. Jeffries then looking for the runner, and it was Henderson.
And again, the lack of using a dummy runner is not... They've got to try to confuse the defence.
This now is Jeffries. That's the last. Can they force another goal line dropout here? Paul Cook will hoist the kick wide. And they are lined up for this. Millard's one of them, flicks it back. Rinaldi will score for Wakefield.
He'll go upstairs.
This time he won't give it until it's given the green light by the video referee, Ben Thaler. I think Mr. Ganson has learned his lesson after the first one.
I think it's a Wakefield player that actually knocks the ball back. I think you'll find that it's Millard that goes higher than Whiting. Now, has that gone backwards? That's the decision by Ben Thaler. I think you'd say that the body position, Millard gets to it. Now, to me, that is going backwards, and this try will be given. And Rinaldi, well, he fully deserves that, because if there's anyone in this Wakefield side that's shown any spark whatsoever, it's the Frenchman, Julien Rinaldi.
20 times a French international, Julien Rinaldi has given Wakefield the lead here. The try given on the nod of Ben Thaler, the video referee, and Julien Rinaldi. He immediately is withdrawn from the field by John Keir, but that's a telling contribution. And it was a telling kick from Paul Cook as well that was flicked back by Millard. Wakefield have the lead, and it could easily be a 6-point lead after Cook's conversion attempt.
Great work by Daryl Millard. And again, very little pressure applied to the kicker. Knocks it back. And that's a nice little underneath, isn't it? Nothing that Danny Tickle could do about this. Watch when Rinaldi, the hooker, gets the ball. Now you see me, now you don't. Well, sheer pressure has brought that about. It certainly hasn't been fancy. But as far as their coach John Keir will be concerned, he could not care less. He has got what he wants, and that is the lead.
Well, this man's career began at Hull in 1999. He's also played for Hull Kingston Rovers. He has missed with that attempt. Paul Cook, he does tend to torment the Black and Whites when he comes up against them. and it was his kick that produced that try.
Yeah, the accuracy of his field kicking not matched by his goal kicking. There's Ronaldo, the recipient of the try and the benefit of it. But you just see they've bought more raffle tickets than the black and whites here. There are 5 white shirts, Eddie, and just 3 black ones. So when it comes down, it's invariably got a better chance of going to a Wakefield player. Ronaldo, they're the one to convert.
And I'm not so sure, Eddie, that is a pretty smart move by John Keir. The man who's been really, really buzzing has been the hooker Rinaldi. He scores a try, and then he substitutes it.
Well,
that amazes me.
He's brought Tavita Leolato on, Steve-O, who does have the habit of changing the game. The New Zealand and Tongan international. There he is. He's in at dummy half now.
Yeah, but straight after scoring a try, you know, you're up for it. You say, come on, more and more. He's showing a lot of buzz. I can understand it if this man says, well, I don't think I'm getting anything from Ronaldo, and he has.
He's one of the wiliest old birds in the business, is John Keir. I wouldn't argue with him. I gave him a sleepless night last night with a couple of comments, but...
Your tactical changes in modern-day rugby league are so important, and Leolato, we just see how dynamic and explosive he is. Ronaldo's done a fantastic job in the opening 30 minutes, but John Keir wants to change it for the last 10.
High shot on Glenn Morrison, Jordan Turner. Morrison's head just went back. It was first contact right on the button.
Well spotted as well by Steve Ganson and Morrison.
Sportsmanship from Morrison.
Yeah, he's an old stager, isn't he?
But the youngster on the head.
You'd imagine in the last 10 minutes there that the territorial advantage that Wakefield had should pay off here now. They've had more than 3 times as much possession in their opponent's half, and that's going to make a difference here now, you would imagine. Can Wakefield convert this territorial advantage into one on the scoreboard?
There's Tavita Leolato coming down the short side with Cook, taking on his former teammates in defence. Leolato again finds Paul King. King then to Jeffries. Busy. Morrison. He goes down in the tackle.
That's the first time that Wakefield have used a dummy runner. Just as a build-up to that.
Jeffries to Korkidas. And Michael Korkidas, if he falls over the line, so long as the posts stay up, he'll play the ball here to Leolato. That's good work in defence. It's a bit of a waste to play the ball actually by Wakefield. It was well done by Jordan Tansey. Jeffries, back he comes to Cook again. Another little kick in. Picked up by Tansey though, and Dimitriou finishes him off.
He did well as well at the fullback because there was a bobbling ball. It wasn't the best kick from Cook. It sort of came off very lightly off the toe. And it bobbled all over the place. Very good work by the fullback. It had to be as well.
And that's good work from Richard Whiting, just making a couple of more metres forward as he took out some energy of the 3 who were trying to tackle him. That's an awful pass. Kirk Yeaman to the rescue for the black and whites. They've lost their way slightly here. Wakefield up for the challenge. John Keir is saying he wants the performance to improve. The result will take care of itself. Good set of 6 defensively from Wakefield. Kick down centre field is straight into the arms of Blaymeyer. Wakefield are able to run this ball back again. Only as far as Fitzgibbon and Berrigan though. And then a penalty for ball stealing.
Well, you kick downfield, you get your forwards racing through. Leading the way was the captain, Craig Fitzgibbon. And then you give away a 30 to 40 metre penalty. Well, he looked a bit confused, did Fitzgibbon there.
He's made the most carries for Hull this year, Craig Fitzgibbon. 18 times an Australian international, 11 times he's played for New South Wales. Like all good New South Welshmen, will be bitterly disappointed at the result of the State of Origin. This year, another series win for the Queenslanders, 5 in a row and 3-0, a whitewash. Cook finds Jeffries. Berrigan though. Ooh, and Yeaman, that was high.
Well, lack of concentration and discipline, I'm afraid. He's going against the black and whites. That's the 3rd time that they've gone high, and there's little doubt about it. I mean, the tackle had been completed by Berrigan, and he just tries to rip his head off.
And the referee has warned Craig Fitzgibbon, the Hull skipper today, that he will have no more high shots.
Oh, I can't believe this decision.
They're going for 2.
Yes. If you'd asked every one of those black and white shirts on the field, there's 13 of them at the present, what would you like your opposition to do? I'm sure they would have said, please kick at goal. We need a rest here.
I think due to the humidity, Phil, it's I think both sides really need it. I mean, it hasn't been sparkling.
John Keir looked a little bit perplexed, didn't he? Richard Agar looks, he's the unflappable coach of Super League, Richard Agar, but he looks a little bit concerned.
With the lack of concentration, giving away the penalties. And also, I must say, and the water carrier, he has to get away out of the sight of
He's not happy that the water carrier is on the field.
Well, it's casting a little bit of an obstruction for the kicker.
But he's passing water along the line, and the referee says you can't be doing that when Paul Cook's lining up the shot at goal. This time Cook finds the mark. It's 12-6 to Wakefield.
And I think the biggest problem for Richard Agar as well is that we said that we haven't seen much running and much of the ball being taken up by Craig Fitzgibbon, the captain. That's mainly due to the fact that so many of these Hull players are missing the tackles, and Fitzgibbon, would you believe it, 34 minutes into the game, he's done 20 already. They've got to regroup. He's got to have some help out there.
Saw Richard Agar with James Webster behind him, and immediately behind him the great Johnny Whiteley. So Wakefield in the shape of Korkidas. And Johnny Whiteley, I'm reminded by Ian Proctor, the last coach to win the coveted Ashes for Great Britain. Before Clarkey was born, I think.
Yes, just that 1 year. Still one of the legends of the game, isn't it?
Yes, he is.
He'll be there next week. Looking forward to. In fact, he was there last night, actually, watching Hull Kingston Rovers. A great rugby league fan and a wealth of knowledge on the game.
Morrison's pass was a bit telegraphed. Yeaman in quickly for the tackle on Aaron Murphy. Crossfield kick again. It's a tactic they've used from start to finish in this first half. That was easy for Whiting, but it's been effective. Look at the scoreline, 12-6 Wakefield. Jordan Turner, ex of Salford. This is his first year up at the KC Stadium. And Richard Horn is out there. Good to see him. His pass then to Fitzgibbon.
Well, he may bring a little bit of a spark there. They put him out there, and as though he's acting as a hooking role.
This is his first appearance since May the 1st. Now, Epelhami Luwaki, a little skip before he faced Paul Johnson. And the touch judge has seen something. He's on.
Yeah, it was a high shot there. And I think you'll find that...
on the last tackle as well.
Oh, that was silly play. It really was silly play. I think it's Korkidas that gets him. It is. He looks at the official. He doesn't say to him, do you like my little colour in my hair? It's I got a real smack in the face. And now then, can Hull... Can they put something together a little bit different? You know, even just a dummy runner, someone coming on the angle, something different than just driving one up after each other.
Well, that's Radford was the first drive. Here is Richard Horn. Richard Horn finds Washbrook. He finds Luwaki, brushes off one. Horn waits again. The pass finds Berrigan. Berrigan then gives it to Tansey, and Tansey backed himself. He might have done better to flick it to Yeaman. Yeaman now the dummy half. This time he backs himself, gets it away.
Great try.
Is that a try?
It is a great
Yeaman,
try. He'll give this. Yeaman sneaked in.
He won't, you know.
Well, I can't see anything wrong. I don't think there's any obstruction at all. And he really should have been stopped.
Checking
It was a
for
great
obstruction. Yeaman going in front of the play the ball.
That's the only thing that can prevent this man being awarded the try. And the silly high shot from Korkidas has put the black and whites into a great position. Now then, is there any interference at the play of the ball? I don't think so.
Well, there's Yeaman on the out there.
He's looking at Yeaman at the top of the screen, whether he gets back on side.
Yeah, it's just onside.
Is he ahead of the play the ball?
No, I don't think there's much wrong with that.
That's fine, that's fine. Ben Thaler.
Are the defenders onside, Eddie?
Well,
It makes a difference. It's play on, isn't it? Advantage.
Well, you'd give a penalty, would you? I'm saying if it's not given as a try.
Oh, they'll play on. It's a try. I mean, there's nothing with the ground in, I feel.
I think they're trying to check, though, whether Yeeman is onside at the play the ball.
Doesn't play with his foot.
Doesn't play with his foot. Well, you can't.
That's what I've said. You should go to that on every single video referee.
Well, you can't. You can't. I've asked you a couple.
But you should. You should. That's the way you'll get players touching with the foot.
Well, you'd have to rewrite the record, the rule books, Phil. You can't until the ball is back in play.
It should be the first thing that you check.
I can't agree more. But
that's a new rule in that. The new interpretation.
No, well,
this will be a try. Oh, I can't believe it. For what?
It's because he untouched it with his foot, Steve-O.
Well, this is ridiculous.
He's in front of the play the ball. There, look.
Well, I'm not so
He's
sure.
not, though.
Yeeman is out there and he's in front, right in front of the touch shot
I
there,
don't
and he's
think
in front of the play the ball.
Well, I don't think he is by the time he plays it.
Okay, no. See, the players are confused, the ref's confused.
Well, we're 20
all
rounds
confused.
in, what do you expect?
Okay, mate. I don't like that one. I don't like that one at all.
Well, listen to the fans on either side. They're so confused and they've pinched the ball.
The bottom line about that decision was that Jordan Tansey was ruled to be offside at the play the ball. He was in front of the play the ball, and it's a matter of opinion, and it's the opinion of Ben. It's the opinion of Ben Thaler, the video referee, that he was in front of the play the ball. Kirk Yeeman, the try scorer. So that's it. End of discussion. On halfway, it's Wakefield with Leolatu, Korkidas. We'd just like Wakefield to come up this other end now and score a try. Leolatu again, little dance, gets it away to Paul King. Washbrook with the tackle. Leolatu again, good run from Leolatu. Quick play the ball, was that played correctly? Here is Jeffries, this is Paul Cook. And Cook takes the last tackle. They're 3 meters away from the line. Leolatu, quick hands, Morton, and an ambush waiting for him. That'll be the turnover, but right on the whole line.
Well, it was worth a gamble to go for the power play, and they realise that. They know there's less than a minute remaining, and they can just surely keep Hull down in their own quarter. Get the defence solid, make sure they don't give away a penalty, keep on side. That's what John Keel will be hoping for. Well, I must say, it hasn't been the best rugby league football game that I've seen so far this year. And I mentioned it earlier, Eddie, they look very, very frightened of each other to do something different other than just one out.
Here's Fitzgibbon, he might do something different, but no, he takes it up on his own. 20 seconds remaining. They will complete this set of 6, Hull. Horn. Radford. Penalty.
Well, what we got, 4 seconds remaining. It's kicking to touch, and then as soon as you tap it, get it high into the air. This will be one tap, kick high and chase and hope. Here goes
Up it
Richard
goes,
Horn.
off the boot of Richard Horn. It's a bit too deep, though, or is it? Yes, it is. Very well claimed by Blaymire, that. John Keir's men lead at half-time. Wakefield 12, Hull 6. Cook and Rinaldi's try for Wakefield. Jordan Turner with the opening try of the match for Hull. 6-0 it was to the